Most students trusted their eyes without question. Kael didn't. Kael sat in a corner of the inner courtyard, eyes fixed on the records Shivan was slowly organizing. The small holographic interface flickered with a delay at every command, as if the ancient eyes struggled to keep up with his reasoning.
Processing. One moment. Ah, here it is.
Shivan's metallic voice echoed, almost timid. Kael sighed and closed his eyes for a moment. Too slow, but still better than nothing. He didn't have time to sink into his own thoughts. A shadow stretched across the ground before him. When he looked up, he found Lian Yue smiling with crossed arms, accompanied by the other 4 members of Class F. "It's been a week since you joined the class, and you're still acting like a hermit, Kael," she said, with that tone between scolding and teasing. "How long are you planning to hide?" "If he keeps this up," added Ren-Q, crossing his arms and letting his imposing presence show, "he'll become a legend. The ghost student of Class F." The others chuckled quietly. Kael raised an eyebrow but remained silent. "Come eat with us," Lian insisted. "No one survives here for long if they stay alone." Kael took a deep breath, thinking about refusing, but something in their eyes made him hesitate. Maybe it would be easier to give in. Just this once. "Fine. Just don't expect me to talk much." Lian smiled in victory. The group crossed Altaris inner campus together. Mana fountains floated between crystal pillars. Suspended gardens blooming with soft, luminous flowers. Androids moved silently among the students, and holographic displays whispered the city's history. Here, even the simplest routines felt touched by magic. Not all eyes were on the gardens. A commotion made them stop. In the central arena, a girl was locked in fierce combat against a student from Class A. She was impossible to ignore. Silver hair flowed like rivers of light. Golden eyes shone like miniature suns, and her fair skin resembled polished jade. Her movements blended refined technique with innate strength. "Arya," someone whispered in the crowd. "The prodigy of Class A." Kael frowned. The name meant nothing to him, but the glow in those eyes cut through him like a blade. A shiver crawled down his spine. "Why do I feel like I've seen her before?" For an instant, the noise of the crowd seemed to fade away. Something familiar lingered in her presence. Something that made no sense. Like forgotten memories whispering inside his mind, without revealing themselves. Her opponent lunged with a spear, but Arya dodged as if she anticipated every move. With an elegant spin, she kicked the haft of the weapon, breaking his posture. A moment later, a burst of golden mana exploded from her palm, hurling the boy to the ground. Unconscious, the crowd erupted in cheers. Arya didn't even smile, she simply stepped back. Indifferent to the uproar, Kael kept his gaze locked on her until the very end, feeling that strange connection pulse silently inside him. "To think the advanced classes get everything," muttered Xian Zhang, his gaze cold as ever. "Cutting-edge eyes, weapons forged with rare crystals, even drugs that accelerate cultivation, and artificial mechanisms that give you years of advancement in months," added Han Lei, his voice filled with frustration. "Meanwhile, we barely have decent training equipment," said Mari Yao softly, but with weight in every word. Kael said nothing for a while, watching the arena empty. Then he calmly stated, "If there's no solid foundation, that rapid progress is nothing but a castle of sand. One strong wind, and it collapses." His words lingered in the air. The group exchanged surprised looks. On the way to the cafeteria, Kael began observing his classmates more closely. Ren-Q, always at the front, had broad shoulders and bronze skin. His eyes carried the confidence of someone who never needed to prove his strength. A natural warrior, Xian Zhang walked silently behind. Long, straight hair falling down his back, blue eyes analyzing every detail. around him as if everything were a puzzle to solve. Hanley, on the other hand, couldn't stay still. He wore a crooked smile, while gesturing excitedly, his restless energy evident in every movement. Leanne walked confidently, teasing each of them with witty remarks. Her green eyes sparkled with mischief, as she moved with natural ease. And lastly, Miryao. Unlike the others, she rarely spoke. She observed. Her presence was calm, but there was depth in her reddish-brown eyes. That made Kael look away from time to time. They're different, but somehow, they complete each other. Inside the cafeteria, floating tables and chairs adjusted automatically to each user's height, making the environment practical and comfortable. Flying trays carried fresh meals silently. The group sat and began chatting. "Kael," said Leanne between bites, "have you trained drone flight yet? I'm one of the best at it. I can control two at once using my eye. Xian Luo, if you want, I can teach you a few things." Kael raised an eyebrow. 2 drones at once. That's impressive.
Indeed. Simultaneous real-time flight calculation. Requires high-capacity processors.
"What was that?" asked Han, laughing. "My eye," Kael replied, blunt. "Old model." The others exchanged glances, but didn't mock him. It seemed they were beginning to respect how calmly he handled it. While they ate, Kael noticed Mira's attentive gaze. She studied every gesture of his, as if trying to decipher not only his skill, but also his personality. Kael felt slightly uncomfortable with her intensity. "You observe too much, Mira," he murmured quietly, without looking at her. "It's bad for your focus." She simply smiled, her eyes gleaming with amusement. Kael then drifted into thoughts of Professor Hao Liang, who had just entered the cafeteria, adjusting his glasses with his thumb as he scanned the room, muttering under his breath, "Interesting, even though nothing unusual was happening. Interesting, even if he's only watching drones hover. He carries an almost comical aura sometimes," Kael thought, suppressing a smile. As the group noticed where Kael was looking, they couldn't help but joke about the professor. Shivan commented, "Delayed as always."
Observing. Behavior. Curious.
"She doesn't stop, huh?" laughed Han. "Old model," Kael replied dryly, though a faint smile slipped through. Then Leanne leaned forward, teasing, "Kael, you really fight well without using mana or an eye. Think you can teach me a trick tomorrow?" Kael hesitated. Inside, he remembered every fall, every lesson, every solitary battle that had forged him in his previous life. The weight of loneliness had followed him to the end, but now, facing those eyes, something shifted within him. This time, "I won't walk alone." He took a breath before answering, "If you want to see, tomorrow I can teach the first steps, but I warn you, it won't be easy, and some of you might regret it partway through." A brief silence settled over the table, soon replaced by eager looks. Kael's tone left no doubt. He truly had something different to show. Mira smiled subtly, intrigued, while the others exchanged expectant glances. Kael felt a mix of responsibility and discomfort, but something within him knew that this was the moment to draw closer to Class F. For the first time, he wasn't just an observer. He could become a guide, even if only in small doses. If you want to keep walking this world with us, subscribe.